Today we will be looking at how to play Metal Bat. Let's go over the moves first. Now that you know what his moves are, let's show some combos with it. This character has a lot of combos and a lot of potential, so I'll be showing quite a lot of them. As you can see, there is a lot of ways to use this character. Now I will be going over more of the important things that you have to know about his moveset. His third ability can M1 extend in two different ways. If you throw the opponent up, catch him and attack him further. The other way you can do it is if the opponent is on the ground and you rush after him with your third ability. As you could see in one of the combos before, I also M1 extended with the fourth ability. How this works is if the opponent is on the ground and you throw your rock at him, he will be flung away like you do with your third ability. But you don't want him to go away. The way you do that is by throwing him into the ground, walking forward a bit, turning around, and he will be thrown into you. So you can do a lot of throwing the opponent around and doing a lot of M1 extends with it. Now something you might also think is possible is if you use your fourth ability and just rush after the opponent. Although they can still block you if you try to rush after them. If they lag too much and you can actually hit them with your forward dash, they will be knocked onto the ground. So you can't really extend by doing that. As you can see, home run, most of the time I threw him up and use it like this. This is because it looks cooler, but what you can also do is if the opponent is on the ground right in front of you. You can also extend with an uppercut with your second ability, although it's a bit more difficult because of the time. Something I like to do that helps is by throwing the opponent into the air, dashing away and catching after him, as you can see way more clearly when you have to do it. Now we will quickly go over my favorite ultimate in this game. His ultimate is very interesting and it actually requires some skill and some brain. You can't just brain that spam everything, as both your first move and your second move can be interrupted in the start. And your parry can be baited out, so you have to do it very in a very intelligent way. Your first ability, you swirl around, the opponent gets thrown away, and if he hits the ground, it does extra damage. If they use their ragdoll cancel, the extra damage will not affect them. With your second ability, you do a bunch of hits, you can freely walk around, keep hitting the opponent. The last part, they will be thrown away, and you can rush after them. As you can see, this will do a lot of damage. Your third ability, you go after them, and if they are in front of you, you will hit them pretty far away. And as you could probably guess, with your second ability, you can rush after them right away. Your fourth ability can be used in two ways. It is a parry, but if you miss the parry, there will still be an attack. Depending on how far the opponent is away from you, it will do less damage, but if he is pretty close, it will do up to half of his health. Now I will show what it looks like when you hit the parry. I have to do this on the dummy as it is pretty difficult with my second account, as I have to switch around. Now I will also be giving some very important tips you do not want to miss. The first and second ability can be interrupted, meaning if they hit you in the startup, it will not go through. As you can see, I still have iframes after it started, but only after it started. And the startup for your second ability is even longer, meaning that it can be easily interrupted. Now this might seem very weak, but he has one extreme strength. He can cancel his moves with his fourth ability, meaning you can go into the parry. And as you can see, you can delay it for quite a bit. You can either do it instant, or you can wait until the last moment and switch to the parry. Not a lot of people know this, and it's very strong, as you can easily bait out your opponent. Sadly, I don't have an example on video, but something that happened to me once, and a lot of people do, is if you hit them with the first ability, they are in the air, and you use your second ability, and they use their ragdoll cancel to come down and interrupt you. If you just zoom out and observe them, and you can see this is exactly what they're doing, use your second ability and go into the death blow. Most people will not expect it, and I have been called a cheater so many times just because people don't know this simple trick. Now I will quickly go over how to use the moves one by one, and then the video will be over. Most of the time you want to start with your first ability, follow it up with your second one, and use your third ability last. As you can see, this combo kills them immediately, and you want to use your third ability last as it hits them very far away. Also important to know is that during the entirety of the duration of your third ability, you have iframes, meaning you can't be interrupted. How you want to hit the ability is by observing the visuals. As you can see, you hit slightly in front of you. So if I'm standing here, the opponent would hit about this range of space, meaning that if the opponent isn't there, it will most likely not hit. Metal Bat, hated by many, enjoyed by me, is probably my second favorite character in this game. I think he's very versatile, he's different compared to the others, and I just very much like his playstyle. I hope you enjoyed the video and you learned something new, and see you next time with the tutorial for my favorite character, Blade Master.